How's it going, guys? So we got some pretty interesting news today. Tyson's plant-based brand, Raised and Rooted, they came out with an announcement today that they have three new products, I believe. If we check their website right here, yeah, they have plant-based burgers now, the plant-based ground beef, and also plant-based sausages. So we're going to take a little look here and kind of dive into this because I kept seeing a headline that was very misleading, and I was actually surprised when I first saw it. These new Raised and Rooted burgers have 75% less saturated fat. Actually, if you click on it right here, you can see they're advertising that they have 75% less saturated fat than the 80/20, which, as we know, Beyond, they only have 35% less saturated fat. But Beyond does plan on coming out with a 55% less saturated fat. I think still at some point in the future. Again, we still haven't really heard much about that. Yeah, so this kind of surprised me at first. I was a little bit worried. I was like, oh man, how did Tyson, manage to get so much less saturated fat than Beyond? And after looking at the ingredients list for both of the products, it makes a lot more sense to me as to why that is. But anyways, I'll get to that in a bit here. I just wanted to go over a few key points here in this article. So I'm not going to read like everything verbatim here. One thing that was kind of funny is, as you can see in the article title, an executive explains why the newest products under its Raised and Rooted brand are now 100% plant-based. And that's actually one reason I never took this company seriously at first, because they were doing like the 50-50 real meat and plant-based meat. I just thought that was ridiculous. And a lot of people did, and they finally listened and they finally pulled the 50-50 one, and they also pulled the egg whites out of the nuggets that they had, because a lot of vegans were complaining about that too. If that just shows you how out of touch Tyson is, I don't know what will. I mean, they literally had a 50-50 burger. It just made no sense. And also the egg whites in the chicken nuggets, but apparently they have all plant-based ingredients now. Finally, I mean, it took them that long to get that right. But yeah, their 2-pack of burgers are going to be selling for $4.99, so they're $1 cheaper than Beyond. And I think that might be like the only important point here in this article. I mean, there's really not that much else to say here. Another thing I read in a different article is they're only in 10,000 stores too, guys, and whereas Beyond's in 120,000. So again, they're way far behind Beyond on this. And again, who knows how much they're really going to pour into this, how much they're taking it seriously. I mean, Beyond is currently taking a dump because of this news, and I just wanted to go over the technicals here really quick. And actually, we're sitting right now, I think right on support currently right now. So on a macro level on the daily here. But basically, there's two horizontal lines of support. The first one here being the obvious one right here, right around 126. And usually when we hit this, we bounce off, and occasionally we do dip below it. But if we do dip below it, it's not for that long. And we are usually supported by the $114 line here. As you can see, we wicked down to it 3 times pretty much in the past couple months. Again, we don't tend to stay below it for that long, and then we just get eaten back up. Again, on a technical level, I'm not that concerned. Obviously, Beyond dumped on this news. Because, this stock is so manipulated, they find a reason to dump it on any news, even good news. Again, guys, not really concerned. I'm sure it's probably going to bounce off 125. Even if it does dip below this line, we have, again, the $114 as support. So if it dips below that, then I might be a little bit concerned. And if it dips below that, then I think we might be heading to fill this gap potentially, especially if earnings are bad again. I mean, that would be the perfect storm for us to fill that gap at 94. Again, if that does happen, though, guys, I'm just going to buy more. But anyways, guys, let's get into the ingredient comparison now and also the nutrition label comparison. So firstly, with the nutrition facts here. So on the left, I have Beyond, and on the right, I have the Tyson Raised and Rooted burger. Now, as you can see here, Beyond has 14 grams of total fat, and the Tyson burger actually has 18 grams of total fat, which is actually more than Beyond. Now, while it is true, yes, they only have 1.5 grams of saturated fat compared to Beyond's 5 grams of saturated fat. The reason for that is that the Tyson burgers are using canola oil. They're not using any coconut oil. And coconut oil is very high in saturated fat, and that is why Beyond has more saturated fat. Now, I'm guessing for the 55% less saturated fat burger, they're going to be toning down the coconut oil. But I mean, still, 5 grams of saturated fat, that's only 25% of the daily value of saturated fat. So it's not like the Beyond burger is incredibly unhealthy with the amount of saturated fat. That's basically the only part, though, that is healthier for you than the Beyond burger. I mean, if you scroll down to sodium, you can see that the Tyson burger has 220 milligrams more sodium per burger, which they have 610 milligrams per serving. That is insane, guys. That is 27% of the daily value of sodium. That is a lot compared to Beyond's only 17%. And then in terms of carbs, they're about the same. Fiber, Beyond has 1 more gram of fiber than them. And then they were also touting that that they have more protein, but they only have 1 more gram of protein than Beyond. So I mean, other than that, they have more calories and they have more sodium than Beyond. So I guess it's kind of like pick your poison. Do you think that more saturated fat is unhealthy, or do you think more sodium is unhealthy? That scared me at first, but looking at it again, I don't think it's that big a deal. I just hope that consumers aren't fooled by that to think that it's healthier than Beyond, especially when we go to the ingredients here. So for the ingredients, again, I have Beyond on the left and I have the Tyson burger on the right. And I listed, how many ingredients are in each thing. Now for the Beyond Burger, I have 18 ingredients listed. If you're not including the vitamins and minerals, which I don't see why you would, because they're just vitamins and minerals. And then we have 36 ingredients in the Tyson Burger, and that's excluding the stuff in brackets because, that's pretty much ingredients within ingredients. But if you included all the stuff in the brackets, it'd probably be around like 60 ingredients. I mean, and a lot of the ingredients here in the Tyson Burger are kind of weird and also, don't seem like the healthiest stuff. First of all, we have the canola oil, which obviously Beyond has. And if you guys heard me talk about it before, Beyond uses expeller pressed canola oil, which is actually a healthier canola oil than regular canola oil, because even though it's more expensive for Beyond to use it, it actually is a lot less harmful than regular canola oil, because with regular canola oil, there's the harmful chemical hexane that gets released during the pressing of it. But with the expeller pressing, the hexane is significantly reduced to pretty much nothing. So they have that disadvantage right there, right off the bat, with the lower quality canola oil. Obviously, they're using pea protein and they're going for the soy-free approach too, which I think is smart. Yeah, but then everything else, there's definitely some interesting ingredients in here. A lot of stuff that I'm not really that aware of because I'm not really a nutritionist. But a lot of chemical-y sounding stuff. If you just read the back of the Beyond Burger ingredients, you're just the average everyday person. You recognize a lot more of the stuff. A lot more of it sounds a lot more natural. But if you're a person reading the back of the Tyson ingredients, like there's a lot of scientific sounding stuff. A lot of stuff that would maybe scare a lot of people away. I mean, just some of this stuff, an average person reading this, it just doesn't look very appealing to see this kind of stuff in your food that you can't pronounce. Like this right here, propylene glycol, like that just doesn't sound healthy. It just doesn't sound good. So I think that might scare a lot of people away. And they just have a lot of weird stuff in here. Like they say natural flavor like a shit ton, whereas Beyond only says it once. And then they have natural flavor here. And then they have natural flavor beef burger type, which a lot of stuff just sounds really weird. And with the natural flavor thing, they don't have to disclose what's in that as long as it's derived from a natural source. Now, again, you could say the same for Beyond, that we don't really know what's in that either. But I don't know, just something about Tyson. I mean, they are a sketchy company. So in summary, guys, this is why I'm not worried, for now at least. Raised and Rooted is only in 10,000 plus stores compared to Beyond's 120,000 plus stores. Most vegans will refuse to support Tyson's products. Beyond Meat is still the industry leader / household name. And that's another thing, guys. People get excited by new companies, The thing with Tesla, again, I hate always having to compare it to Tesla, but everyone said the same thing about Tesla. Oh, they have so much competition, But the thing with Tesla is people just get excited for new companies, new up-and-coming companies that are pure, pure in that space. Like Tesla was the first pure EV company, the same way Beyond, and Impossible too, but Beyond was really the first pure plant-based meat company. And again, still has the household name, industry leader. And Beyond still has deals with McDonald's, Yum Brands, and PepsiCo, guys. Nothing has changed on that front. These deals are still happening as far as we know. Obviously, if these deals end up falling through, then that would be bearish. But for now, these deals are still happening. Beyond is also years of R&D ahead of Raised and Rooted, who only have been in the game since 2019. And finally, Raised and Rooted products seem to be more processed than Beyond products, more ingredients. And as we actually saw, they have more sodium, although they do have the less saturated fat. And they also use the canola oil, which contains hexane, whereas Beyond uses the expeller pressed canola oil. Oh, and also, guys, I completely forgot about no GMOs. I don't see them advertising anything about no GMOs, so it seems like they might be using GMOs. So that's just another advantage for Beyond if they are using GMOs. And again, the more ingredients, people just don't like to see that huge list of ingredients, whereas Beyond has a much smaller list of ingredients. Yeah, guys, so for now, I'm not worried. Everything is still coming along great. Beyond's still expanding. They still have all these deals. Hopefully, the next earnings is going to reassure us that everything's going good. Hopefully we get some surprise good news. Hopefully we get an update on the McPlants. Hopefully we get the Beyond Chicken news. I'm not worried. I'm still going to be dollar cost averaging, accumulating more shares. And I will be trying these burgers. I feel like I have to, as a form of DD. And I'm going to be honest, guys, because, I am going to be honest when I feel like Beyond's making a mistake or their competitor might be better. Like I've said multiple times, I think Impossible does have the better tasting burger. but I still like Beyond Burgers. But I just think Impossible has a disadvantage with all the GMOs and the soy. But yeah, guys, so I will try these. I will be honest on what I think of them. It's Tyson, so I don't have that high of hopes. They're pretty out of touch. But who knows? Maybe they'll surprise everybody and be better than Beyond. But again, I doubt that. I'm predicting they're going to be mediocre at best. But anyways, guys, that pretty much does it for this video. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments. And leave a like if you found this video interesting, you know. And if a channel dedicated to Beyond Meat sounds good to you, please consider subscribing. I look up all the Beyond Meat stuff so you don't have to. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.